complex number. Today we'll be talking about complex number. Complex number is in this form: z equals to x plus iy, where x and y are real numbers. Alright, if we say x and y are real numbers, then what about the I? So what is I? What is I? So we need to look at what is I. What exactly is I? I is simply an imaginary number. I is an imaginary number. So it's not real, it's imaginary, as the name implies, imaginary. This number actually come into place as it was discovered by a mathematician called Euler, born in 1707 to 1783. Now let's look at how this thing actually came into place. Let's say, for example, you have to solve a quadratic equation. You have to solve a quadratic equation. 5x squared minus 6x plus 5 equals to 0. Now, if you have to solve this quadratic equation, you know there are different methods you can use in solving this equation. Let's use the formula method, where we have that x is equals to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, now in solving the quadratic equation, when you have your equation like this, there are some things that you need to label. For example, your a is the coefficient of x squared, which is 5. Then your b is the coefficient of x, which is minus 6, and c is what is plus 5. Therefore, you are going to have that. Let's compute the values of a, b, and c into the formula. We are going to have that x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So let's put the formula there. Let's compute it now. Then minus, what's our b? Our b is minus 6. Then plus or minus square root of what? B is 6 minus 6 squared minus 4 into what? A is 5 and c is plus 5, then divided by 2a. We have x equals to 6, then plus or minus square root of minus 6 squared is 36, of course, then minus 4 times 5 20 times 5 100, divided by 2a. Okay, so we have that our x equals to 6, then plus or minus what is 36 minus 100? That is minus 64. Now here comes the problem. Also, we didn't put our a. Our a is supposed to be 5. Okay, so x is equals to 6 plus or minus square root of minus 64 divided by 10. So here comes the problem. So how do you find the square root of 64? So in order for us to solve this complicated problem, then Euler actually came up with something that, okay, if we have square root of negative numbers, then we can simply express it as 6 plus or minus square root of minus 1 multiplied by square root of 64. And if you are conversant with sword, this expression is the same thing as this one. So they are the same thing. Okay, they are the same thing. So x will now be 6, then plus or minus square root of minus 1 times square root of 64 over 10. So now this expression, square root of minus 1, that is what we call imaginary number. So Euler actually said, okay, let's give this number square root of minus 1. Let's call it what? I. So this I is called imaginary number. So if you are wondering how come you have imaginary number, so square root of minus 1 is simply imaginary number. Okay, so let's move forward. That is imaginary number. Okay, let's look at some few examples here. Let's say that we have, since we know that square root of minus 1 is equals to I, therefore if we take the square root of, if you take the square of both sides, so we are going to have minus 1 squared will be equals to what? I squared. So minus 1 squared is going to be what? Is going to be minus 1, which is equal to what? I squared. So we know that I squared is equal to minus 1 and square root of minus 1 is equal to what? I. It's as simple as that. Alright, let's solve this example. Let's put this one aside. Let's solve this example. Let's say that we have I raised to the power of 8. Now, in order for us to solve this problem, all what you need here is just indices. So when I say indices, what I simply mean is that, you know, when you have I raised to the power of 8, you can simply express this as I square then raised to the power of 4. You see, because 2 times 4 will give you 8. Then you already know that your I square is minus 1, so it's going to be minus 1 then raised to the power of 4. So which is what? Minus 1 times minus 1 times minus 1 times minus 1, which is going to be 1. So therefore I raised to the power of 8 is what? Is simply 1. Then also when we have I raised to the power of 10, this thing is also simple again. We will also take it as I squared raised to the power of 5. You can see. So I squared, then the power is multiplying 5. So what is I squared? You already know is minus 1 then raised to the power of 5. So this is an odd number obviously, and we are going to have minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 multiplied by minus 1. That will give you minus 1, of course. Okay, then I raised to the power of 30. So this thing is also simple. So it's going to be I squared raised to the power of 15, because 2 times 15 will give you 30. So what is I squared? Obviously it's minus 1. We've deduced that. Then to be minus 1 raised to the power of 15. So minus 1 raised to the power of 15, of course, is going to be minus 1 when you multiply. Then when you have I raised to the power of 19, I raised to the power of 19 is going to be, we can do it this way, it can be I multiplied by I raised to the power of 18. Okay, because in indices, obviously, they have a common base, which is I. So when you pick one of the base, then the first I here is having the power of 1, and this one is having 18. So 1 plus 18 will definitely give you 19. So it's going to be I multiplied by 18. 18 is going to be I squared raised to the power of 9. So which is going to be I multiplied by, what is I squared? I squared is minus 1 raised to the power of 9, and which is going to be I squared multiplied by minus 1, which is what? Minus I. As simple as that. Also, we have I squared raised to the power of 91. So which is going to be I multiplied by I raised to the power of 90, which is what? I multiplied by I squared raised to the power of 45. Then what are you going to have? We're going to have I multiplied by minus 1 raised to the power of 45, which is going to be I multiplied by minus 1, because minus 1 raised to the power of 45 is going to give you minus 1, because it's not an even number, it's an odd number, so which is going to be minus I. So that is that. Thanks for watching. That is that on the basis of complex number. See you next time. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to also share the video. And in case you have any question, do well to comment it in the comment section. Thank you.